The rules are now out. Jake Paul getting ready for an Anthony Joshua fight, and some of these rules may surprise some of you guys.
Both fighters will be using 10-ounce gloves for the duration of the contest.
And Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. You know how many...
Jake Paul appears to be falling apart after Anthony Joshua unveiled the full Queensberry rule set for their December 19th bout. 10-ounce gloves, real knockouts, official scoring, and Jake suddenly looked like someone who realized he agreed to his own sporting death sentence. What was meant to boost Jake's momentum turned into a public warning shot, exposing just how massively out of his depth he is under true heavyweight standards. Jake Paul Anthony Joshua.
Now, boxing. Anthony Joshua is going to take on the YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul in a professional bout in Miami next month. The former world heavyweight champion.
Jake Paul deluded enough to think it was a good option to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua.
The moment those official bout rules dropped, everything around Jake Paul just faded out. No hype, no noise, none of the influence of chaos he usually thrives in. Nothing. Darkness. Anthony Joshua ripped the cover off the entire spectacle. He revealed exactly what this was going to become: a fully regulated heavyweight showdown on December 19th, 2025 at Miami's Casa Center, where one man leaves on his feet and the other faces a very real chance of being crushed.
Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50.
Jake spent years building this entire empire. The swagger, the shock value, the online theatrics, the viral moments. But with one rule: announcement. Joshua snapped it apart like it was nothing but fragile glass. The debate stopped being who wins and instantly shifted to something far more grim. How long can Jake even last? Minutes, a few rounds, or barely seconds?
It's a huge risk. You know, it's a huge risk. You can't look away from that.
And the boxing world didn't just react. It exploded. Analysts, promoters, former heavyweights, and everyday fans all spoke as if they were narrating a pre-written obituary. There was zero sugarcoating. This was someone willingly entering a scenario where the odds are almost comically against him. Joshua isn't entertaining influencer theatrics. He's a man who has battled and beaten 260-pound punchers, former champions, and true elite contenders. Joshua isn't joining some stage spectacle. He's walking into a legitimate professional arena with Jake Paul and practically escorting him out before the opening bell even sounds.
You've got to be in it to win it, and AJ was in the right place to maximize the opportunity around him, and he has defined a sensational legacy
After this, so what are the rules? The bout will take place at a heavyweight, obviously. It's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. You might think, well, that's better for Jake Paul, and I'm thinking, not really. It's better for Anthony Joshua because he's just going to go all out for them 8 3-minute rounds.
Here's the part that truly blew up online. These weren't watered down, entertainer-friendly rules to shield Jake. These are Queensberry rules, the same relentless standard used in real heavyweight battles. No exceptions, no padded exhibitions. 8 rounds, 3 minutes each. A full 24 minutes of potential chaos and destruction.
Both fighters will be using 10-ounce gloves for the duration of the contest.
Both fighters will wear 10-ounce gloves throughout the fight. 10-ounce gloves, light, sharp, built to deliver maximum impact. No headgear, no holding back, no referee babysitting a YouTuber who thought he could casually survive if Joshua lands a clean shot. Almost every analyst, fan, and likely even his own team expects he will. And when it happens, it goes on Jake's official professional record forever.
Contest is a professional bout and will go on the boys' records. But that being said, this is heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. I'm going to give you my prediction right now.
Joshua didn't just agree to the rules. He insisted on them. Every detail screams authenticity. Every clause pulls Jake out of the influencer playground and into a real fight that could and likely will break him. His usual advantages vanish. His speed is almost useless against someone who is both delivered and taken hundreds of real heavyweight punches, and his size barely scratches the challenge Joshua presents. Any tactic of overwhelming smaller or fatigued opponents becomes irrelevant. Joshua crafted the conditions so carefully that the fight works in his favor in every way: pace, strategy, raw power, endurance, and mental pressure.
200 pounds versus 252 pounds. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua.
And then there's the weight cap, 245 pounds for Joshua. Light enough to move like a predator, heavy enough to rattle, bones and confidence alike. 8 rounds, 3 minutes each, 10-ounce gloves, and knockouts fully allowed. Enough to make anyone nervous. Jake's entire cruiserweight toolkit suddenly looks like a sparkler, facing a flamethrower. Every jab, hook, and counter from Joshua lands with the power of someone who has faced, measured, and dismantled men 20 pounds heavier and far more seasoned.
And we just want to see it because there's a lot of hate out here on influencer boxing. A lot of people have got different opinions on boxing these days. But I want to ask you, do you box?
The deeper people examine the rules, the worse it looked for Jake. Fans even started calling it a death chamber because there's nothing he can fall back on. Under exhibition rules, he might survive. Under influencer rules, he could stall. But with true heavyweight rules, there's nowhere to hide. Every second of every round gives Joshua full freedom to unleash the same brutality he used on real world champions. Jake went from controlling the story to walking blind into a battlefield. He thought he understood, but clearly did not.
If this is a real, legitimate fight, Jake Paul is absolutely crazy. If not crazy, he's super brave. And it'll be interesting to see.
Joshua said it himself, no mercy. And when Anthony Joshua says that, it lands differently. This wasn't a promo line. It was a statement, a cold promise. You could almost hear the boxing world hold its breath when he spoke, because they know exactly what no mercy means from him. It looks like fighters collapsing from body shots, like knockouts capable of ending careers. It's the kind of force Jake Paul has never experienced in his life. The raw power of a true heavyweight combined with professional precision.
It can happen in a variety of ways, various ways, but I'm not dependent on punch power, you know.
That single statement shattered part of Jake's image. For the first time in years, he didn't seem in control. His interviews were shaky, his jokes felt forced, his confidence uneven, and even his fans could sense it. The same people who once hyped him up now sounded uneasy. Even his diehard supporters admitted they were concerned. That's not normal. That's the energy you feel when the crowd senses danger before the fighter does.
A professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt will disappear. He's talking to you, Charlamagne.
Okay.
And it makes sense. Jake built his reputation as a disruptor, the man who shocked audiences, the one who humiliated fighters who underestimated him. But Joshua didn't underestimate him. He structured the rules, so Jake couldn't rely on tricks or loopholes. Every safety net Jake had counted on was gone. This wasn't influencer boxing or a crossover spectacle anymore. It was a true heavyweight predator facing a cruiserweight entertainer. Once the rules were revealed, the hype faded. It became a countdown. December 19th was no longer just a fight date. It became a warning. The day Jake Paul enters a challenge. Bigger, tougher, and far more brutal than anything he's ever faced. And whether he knows it or not, the world has already predicted the outcome. Jake didn't just lose the story, he lost the room.
AJ can wake out his sleep, all right,
Okay.
and put Jake Paul to sleep. And I ain't taking nothing from Jake Paul. I'm just telling you, I respect the fact that Jake Paul is getting in the ring with somebody like Anthony Joshua. But I'm telling you, night.
All Joshua did was make the rules public, but those rules spoke volumes. Jake Paul entered expecting a spectacle. Joshua transformed it into a professional beatdown, and the entire internet immediately understood what that implied.
Joshua is big, heavy puncher, but not as evasive. So I think if Jake has the right game plan, he has a pretty good shot of winning this fight.
Joshua made it very clear he wasn't treating Jake like a celebrity guest fighter or some crossover novelty. No, he talked about Jake the same way he's spoken. About real heavyweight threats, men like Vladimir Klitschko, Dillian White, Kubrat Pulev, that cold, clipped tone he uses when promotion is over and the hunt begins. And Jake felt it. The man who built his brand on swagger and I'm untouchable energy suddenly looked unplugged. Every interview after that clip carried a strange, shaky, I'm fine vibe, the same tone people have when they're a moment away from breaking down. Even his fans noticed.
A million reasons why Anthony Joshua's taking this fight. In my head, I never ever thought this fight would happen. Why? Because of Anthony Joshua's desire to be in the history books, to be a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. To me, it shows me his desire.
Joshua wasn't just making a threat. He was establishing the tone for a genuine fight. Not a spectacle, not a payday stunt, not a fun experiment. This is a bout that will be permanently recorded in the professional history books. He said it himself. He isn't here to entertain Jake Paul's audience. He's here to dismantle him, erase his confidence, erase his hype, erase the entire narrative Jake has spent years building. When Joshua speaks like that, he means it. He doesn't make empty threats. He delivers damage. And Jake Paul has walked straight into the crosshairs.
Be the same for all of us, you know. Honestly, all of us, many a greats have walked it before. All of the undercard are going to walk it. I'm going to walk it. I'm going to feel just like any of them. But when I step into that ring, that's when I switch on and I'm ready. So,
but the true intensity isn't just in what Joshua said. It's in how the rules reinforce him. These aren't influencer rules. They aren't YouTube boxing rules. These are full, relentless professional Queensberry rules. The exact environment where Joshua has dismantled elite heavyweights. The instant those rules went public, it was like someone yanked the power from Jake Paul's entire strategy and game plan.
I think that it's a hopeless and potentially dangerous mismatch.
Let's break it down. Heavyweight rules are brutal for Jake Paul. At best, he's a cruiserweight. And even there, his power only looks impressive when landing on men half his size or past their prime. Under real heavyweight conditions, those punches are barely felt. Anthony Joshua has absorbed shots from men who hit like wrecking balls. Real 260-pound destroyers with decades of experience, and still stood firm. Jake's YouTube-level power is about to feel like a mosquito bite against a battleship.
Well, I quite hope for Jake Paul's long-term well-being that he does see it as a bit of a sparring exercise and something to get a few minutes under his belt in a ring in front of a big crowd before going on to fight Tyson Fury.
Honestly, I hope for Jake Paul's long-term safety that he treats this as a sparring experience, a chance to get a few minutes in the ring in front of a big crowd before potentially moving on to fight Tyson Fury. Then there's a glove size, 10 ounces, basically hand grenades wrapped in leather. These aren't protective. They are meant to deliver maximum damage efficiently. No headgear means every clean shot transfers pure force. If Joshua lands solidly, the lights could literally flicker. Add 8 full 3-minute rounds, and Jake is stepping into a world he's never encountered. 3 minutes with a true heavyweight feels like 3 hours underwater.
So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-win situation. If he goes in there, Jake Paul lasts the distance. What does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid.
These rules don't just give Joshua an edge. They lay Jake bare. They remove every illusion that has shielded his brand for years. Under influencer rules, Jake could rely on awkward pacing, sloppy footwork, or cardio tricks. Under real heavyweight rules, it's pure survival. The distance is longer. The power is real. The pressure is relentless. No friendly referee is there to break, exchanges, or give Jake a pause. Joshua can walk him down, cut off the ring, and trap him just as he traps legitimate contenders.
And they both earned a spectacular amount of money, and this will be likewise. But I think anybody expecting a good fight, I think they're looking at the wrong thing, because it ain't going to be a good fight if this is on the level.
This isn't Jake entering a boxing match. This is Jake entering a test he wasn't built for. A test Joshua has passed against world champions. These rules yank Jake out of the influencer sandbox and toss him straight into a Shark Tank where everyone is bigger, stronger, smarter, and far more violent. And in that tank, Jake Paul isn't the star. Here's the appetizer.
10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not.
He comes back and does one of the biggest events in the world, silencing the doubters and putting himself in a position to be in conversation for a belt. And he gets that if he beats injury in any sport, number one. Number two, I would say if you look at any boxing event on any given day, there's much larger mismatches than what this fight is.
Unlike perhaps many of the fighters that Paul has taken on, Joshua isn't past it. He's still a prime fighter, even if he's not fought for 50 months due to those injuries. But some are fearing that there could be a serious injury.
I think, look, you have to look at the experience that Jake has gained in the 5 years he's been in the sport. To be in your 12th or 13th fight in front of 80,000 people at AT&T Stadium in front of 125 million viewers, that's not experience you can gain normally.
Who do I think is going to win this fight and how? Well, if I said to you, Jake Paul is going to win this fight by knockout, you would think I'm absolutely crazy, right?
So he's going to go into that event very calm and very composed. And I fully believe that he does 100% think he's going to beat Anthony Joshua, yeah.
He's two completely different specimens in there. I can't see any version of reality where Jake Paul somehow finds a way to win one round, let alone win the fight.
And I just think fights like this just undermine it. They undermine those moments when terrible things do happen and everybody wrings their hands. Why send in a guy like Anthony Joshua, a seasoned pro, against a guy that, I mean, I don't know. It leaves a really nasty taste in the mouth.